I'm Katie Taylor with the Goodman Taylor team at Keller Williams Sonora Living, and I'm here to explain the difference so that you know what an inspection is versus a home appraisal. So, a home inspection is ordered by the buyer, and it's where we have a professional home inspector come to the home. They're going to look at every major system and structure of the house, and they're going to let the buyers know everything that they see. So they're going to be able to look at the roof and tell us if they think that there's leaks or if we need a new roof, or they're going to look for termites or things like that. They're going to then give us a huge report with everything that they found. And then as your buyer's agent, we're going to take that report and talk to you, the buyer, about it. And then we're going to go back to the seller and say, hey, we found all of this stuff, but we're only going to ask you to prepare this, this, and this. And then it's going to be up to the seller to determine whether they're going to do that or not. A home appraisal is something that's ordered by the lender, and it's completely separate from the home inspection. So the lender ultimately wants to make sure that they're not going to lend more money than a home is worth. So in order to do that, they hire a neutral third-party appraisal company that goes in and looks at the house itself, but also looks at the neighborhood and looks at all of the data and the comparative analysis of recent sales in the area that match this one. And they're going to determine a value based on all of that information for this home. So it's completely independent of the home inspection itself. Where it kind of gets tricky for people is with an FHA loan or a VA loan. That appraiser is going to come in and they're going to do all of the same things that a typical appraisal company would do, but they're also going to check for health and safety issues in the home. So they may see that there is water leaking under the kitchen sink, and they're going to go back to the bank and they're going to say, okay, we think that this home is worth this. However, it's only going to be worth this if this is repaired, and we're only going to approve this loan if this is repaired. So typically a home inspection isn't going to necessarily affect the purchase price of the home. Occasionally we may say, hey, instead of repairing all this stuff, we'll just take $10,000 off the purchase price and see if the sellers will agree to that. For the most part though, we see a lot of credits instead of repairs, instead of a reduced purchase price in lieu of repairs. So we'll see, hey, we're still gonna buy the house for this much money that we agreed to, but we're gonna ask you to credit us $10,000 in lieu of all of these repairs that we've asked for. And then as the buyers, they're going to, that $10,000 that the seller is crediting them, that's going to go towards their closing costs and their prepaids and all of that stuff. And that's money that the buyers then don't have to take out of pocket to pay that at the end of the process. That's $10,000 of their own money that they can keep and do repairs after the close of escrow. A home appraisal can affect the purchase price, because they're going to go back to the bank and they're going to say, okay, we know you're under contract for this much, but we only think the house is worth this much. And then the bank is going to say, so we're only going to loan on this much because we're not going to loan you more than what the appraiser says the house is worth. At that point, we can go back to the sellers and say, hey, I know we're under contract for X amount, but the appraisal came in at Y, so we're only going to pay Y. And we can negotiate from that point on with the sellers. And that could potentially lower the purchase price of the home that the buyer's paying for. As much as I try to simplify this process to explain it, it's still very complicated. Your agent, we're going to be there for you the entire way so that we can explain all of these steps as they go on so that you have a clear understanding of exactly what's happening and exactly what you're paying for. I always love talking about this kind of stuff. So if you have questions or if you're interested in buying or selling a home in the Phoenix area, please don't hesitate to reach out.